Hey everyone, Tony Chips here from Chia Peta Shoes. This is Workshop Live, brought to you today on Monday, the 22nd of March. We have a lovely day here in Wisconsin. I've got a nice little custom orthotic. We're doing some modifications and a few points that I wanted to raise with you guys. This customer has almost like a penguin-like gait, so not knocking it. It's how she walks comfortably. Within the feet, she doesn't really have any problems. She's been wearing custom orthotics from us for a number of years. And we've got a bunch of different adjustments already on here that I'll talk about in a sec. But within the foot-ankle complex, we're comfortable. Knees get a little stressed out, and the main issue is the left hip. So we got the left foot, the left hip. For a while was getting a sharp, deep pain within the side and the back, not necessarily related to a nerve strain like a sciatic problem, but usually with maybe about a block of walking, she was getting this deep kind of stabbing irritation in the hip. This person walks relatively smoothly. It's not a stabbing effect, but she has a pretty externally rotated foot. So with this, we've done a number of modifications on the right side. What we have here is a 4-foot lateral wedge, 3mm EVA from Nova. It's a firmer foam. It's about 50 to 60 durometer. We also have an arch bar, as well as a little heel lift, and the heel lift is on both sides. This is just a 6mm pour-on, nice spongy material that with a gait that's kind of externally fixated, you really tend to pound the feet. There's not a lot of flexibility within the foot because you're not really using that full heel to toe motion. So we added some cushion. The right side is doing well. She's performing, she's walking evenly. We also added a little extra material along the sides here of the walls to give it a little bit more contour from the side to side motion. You got to be careful. You only have so much space to work with on the inside of a shoe. This customer's foot is a D12 quadricep foot typing system. D12s are not quite a true flat foot, but we have somewhere in the range of 12 to 16 degree everted heel, so rear foot valgus. We have a relatively neutral forefoot and a low arch. So just structurally, this foot has nice even mechanics toeing off, but the rear foot has a large cock to the inside. So just tend to walk like this. So what we're dealing with today, right side's happy. We're doing one little modification here for the left. Since the last time we did the modification, we added this little heel cushion. Foot was doing fine, ankle was doing fine, knee was relatively good, but what we came up with is over a short period of time, the hip was feeling better. But about 2 blocks into a walk for this customer, she's still getting this deep pain. And one thing that I don't like to do all that much, we use it very sparingly, lateral heel wedges are sometimes effective. I don't like using them all that much unless we have a very externally fixated gait, because if you start wedging the lateral aspect of the heel, oftentimes what happens is you get this internal rotation in the tibia, and then that can cause this knee to start rolling in too much. So lateral heel wedges are something that I really don't like to do all that much, but in certain cases when we have gait that really isn't a fully functioning heel to toe motion, we can throw this into the mix. Now what I'm doing here is we're going to add a lateral heel wedge to the pour-on that we have. So what I did was I beveled it off, and we're going to fill this in with sponge rubber material. Sponge rubber is great because it has a nice firmer setup to it, but it is still relatively spongy. It's going to complement the pour-on really well. Because we're rotating the heel to the outside, so we're going to kind of tilt it in a little bit actually. You think that would be counterintuitive because the rear foot already has about a 12 to 16 degree eversion, so you're already there. So we're kind of tilting it back that way. What I like to do when we do a lateral heel wedge is we like to balance that off with an additional scaphoid pad. So what we're doing is from the heel, we're pushing up here, then we have an extra arch, so we're pushing up on the outside here, we're pushing up on the scaphoid medial arch, and then we also have a lateral forefoot wedge. So we're really trying to guide the foot nice and evenly. We're gonna get these pieces on in a sec, and the additional support that we can look at, we've got a lot of pieces going on. We really have 3 adjustments already. How you doing, Isaac? We already have 3 adjustments set up on there already. We have a heel cushion, arch bar, longitudinal arch bar, and then a forefoot wedge. We're adding scaphoid pad and lateral rear foot wedge on top of that. So, you know, sometimes things get complicated. At the end of the day, Chia Peta Shoes, we're always here to help. How you doing? Thank you for joining. You know, when it comes to the feet, comfort is subjective. You always got to remember that. And you know, the body can change. We don't like to overcorrect. We like to typically take things in iterative process and move slowly. You know, you want to let the body do as much of the work by itself and let the body heal itself. Our job, what I have always found, is that we want to give you the confidence when it comes to orthotics, over the counter or custom. It's all about, hey Jennifer, it's all about letting the body do what it can. There is no such thing as a perfect step, perfect mechanics. Everybody's body's different. And when you look at each foot, we really do use the foot typing system as a guide to what we want to expect. What are the perfect mechanics for that individual foot type? Highly recommend Quadristep foot typing system. It is the best way that you can systemically address mechanics within the feet, ankles, knee complex. It's a really powerful tool. So again, with this right side, we're keeping it simple. We're just going to add a scaphoid pad here. So we're using 55 durometer EVA, keeping it simple. I could use a multi-cork. We don't want to go too firm for this customer, so we're still going to use an EVA for that bottom adjustment there. And on the left side, we have lateral heel wedge blended into the already existing pour-on heel pad, and we're using a sponge rubber material. This is going to be really nice and nice. It's going to be balanced off really well. I'm going to get this ground down in a sec. But, you know, orthotics, modifications, it's art just as much as it is science. So you really got to look at how you do that. So I got that blended really nicely. We're going to smooth it all out. It's going to hit the foot really well. So when I say we make the best custom orthotics, I mean that. And manufacturing is only one part. Modifications like what we're doing here, big part of the process. We're taking an iterative approach, and you don't want to throw it on all at once. So you got to be careful about how you do things. If you do too much right away, there's a few problems with that. You don't have a baseline of comfort. When we build an orthotic, what we like to do is we like to make an orthotic and tell the customer, wear it for 2 weeks. Try it out, see how it goes. Let your body adjust, adapt. Usually the first week is kind of the break-in period. The second week is really your assessment period. How's the body working? Are you walking more evenly? Are you still got that penguin gait? You bouncing around like that? Ankle, knee, hip. A lot of times muscle memory factors into over-the-counter inserts or customs. So you gotta let it play out a little bit. And you know, my job and a lot of the foot doctors that I work with in town here, a lot of great ones in town, You know, I preach about this stuff all day long, is that we got to give people the confidence to be able to get better, as well as the tools. But we want the body to do as much as it can by itself. And you know, you don't want to overcorrect. You don't want to create a crutch. You don't want to make people dependent on something. So that's a big part of the process. All right, we're going to be grinding. Next up, get the right side here. Give it a little pound. Alright, so we've got a really nice blend of this lateral heel wedge blended into pour-on. So you see how I have that wedged off really nicely? It's blended into this already existing heel pad right there. We've got the arch scaphoid pad, 55 durometer EVA, microcell puffed A-core, and just a really nice setup. A couple other notes. This customer has been using New Balance 990s for many years. It's her go-to shoe, and she just tried rotating into a new set, and everything got worse when she got into a new shoe. So I recommended, break a new shoe in slowly. But a large part about athletic shoes is that when you look at the EVA midsole of a tennis shoe, even with a good custom orthotic, the shoe is going to compress with your gait and your mechanics. So what's often going to happen is the shoe takes shape of your gait, and it's going to pre-cock with this customer laterally splayed and to the outside. What's up, Nick? So with this situation here, she tried putting a new shoe on and her knees got worse. So the shoe kind of re-leveled her gait. The old shoe was kind of pressed and cocked to the outside wholly because of her mechanics. Now we're re-leveling her with a new shoe, put too much stress on the knee. So I told her break it in, give it about, a couple hours of wear each day, try to do it a little bit slowly. So we got new set of existing set of orthotics, lateral heel wedge with sponge rubber blended into a pour-on, so it's a lot firmer of material, scaphoid pad. This customer is a D12 quadricep foot type, and if you were going to do this with an over-the-counter insert, I would recommend the Superfeet Berry. It's a nice setup. You could do all of these adjustments on the Berry and make it successful. So Superfeet Berry for a D12 flatter foot, that'd be a good way to do things. Otherwise, custom orthotics. That's it for today. Thank you everybody for chiming in, and anything going forward, let me know if you guys got any ideas, anything you'd like to see. Take it from there. This has been Workshop Live. Tony Chiappetta, Chiappetta Shoes. Ciao.